The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
All right, Ashley, Ingram 3-0 for the first time since 2013. You're off to Catawba to take on Catawba College's Catawba Indians. Start us off with a statement about Tyler Haynes' group, pretty good offensively.
Yeah, Coach Haynes obviously does a great job. Did a great job at Shepherd while he was there, and is in his second season at Catawba. Beat us last year. Obviously they always do a great job offensively. Big RPO team. He's got a really good quarterback. And we're just going to have to play really well to have a chance to beat these guys.
It's the second straight week where you're facing a Piedmont team with a pretty stout signal caller. It was Brooks Bentley last week. It's Preston Brown this week. What sticks out to you about what he does? How is he similar? How is he different from Bentley?
Well, obviously both very good football players. A little different systems that they play in. One of the nation's leaders in completion percentage, drastically improved from last year. So second year in the system. So he's just a good player, and we're going to have our hands full.
You look at what your team did on Saturday, and I think as more time passes, the more incredible and improbable that win becomes looking back on it on paper.
Right.
How do you build off of it instead of letting it be a pinnacle with regression following?
Right. Well, if it's a pinnacle, we're not going to have a great football team this year. There's so many areas that we can improve upon. Offensively, we did not play great. We did not play fast. Physically, we kind of got whipped at the point of attack quite a bit. We've got to play better there. We've got to get our option game going again, which we're going to work hard on. And then defensively, we played really well at times, but then there's some mental lapses or guys kind of doing their own thing. And, 5 or 6 of the big plays were, not to say that they didn't do a good job with it, but it were guys that out of position and things like that. We have a lot to improve upon. So that has been the focus this week.
In one of your preseason press conferences, you touted Turk Daniels as a stellar potential offensive lineman. 3 games deep into his career, what have you seen from it's a rarity for a freshman to start his first 3 games at Carson-Newman on the offensive line. What have you seen from a guy that's done just that?
He is a really good football player. Right now he's our best offensive lineman. He played the best the other day. He played really well against going against fifth-year interior defensive lineman from Wingate. Held his own and got the better of him quite a few times. He is a good player. He's instinctive. He's talented. He's smart. He's tough. So there's a lot to like about the way Turk's playing right now.
For a casual fan, it might not be evident what a guy like that is doing on a Saturday. What could somebody who's a casual fan look for to see, hey, this guy is a stout lineman up front?
I think the one thing is just watch him. He's fun to watch. He knows what he's doing. He's gonna compete every snap, and obviously if we're playing well inside, probably means we're running the ball well and moving well. So I think his play is a reflection of how the offense is going to play.
You had to start a couple of newbies on the defensive line. First career starts for Brandon Dumazil and Fortune Woods after David Alexander and Jesse Combs were held out. How did those two account for themselves against the Bulldogs?
Well, Fortune's played quite a bit of football here. Had a touchdown in the first game on the block punt. Fortune played well. Fortune plays hard. He's just a great young man, reliable, trustworthy. You kind of know what you're going to get with him each and every snap. Brandon did a good job. He's a young kid. He's got some size, but to be able to hold his own against that offensive line, which is a really good one, I think was impressive.
The mentality of this team, it seems like it continues to embrace the theme of brotherhood.
Right.
How does that strengthen each week?
Well,
or how have you seen it strengthen?
Yeah, so I do think that they're embracing it. I think they really care about each other. I think they like each other, like being around each other. We are playing harder. There were some times against West Virginia State we didn't play hard, but an emotional weekend. We got really tired. It was hot. We played at noon up there. So I think we're playing harder. But the other thing is you got to execute and you got to do your job because everyone else depends on you. And I think that's continuing to grow. We're nowhere where we need to be as a team and where we're capable of being. But I think because they're embracing this kind of unity and theme of brotherhood, I think we're going to continue to get better. I know that we came to work yesterday, and a lot of good things are happening here. But I can still walk up in front of them and be critical of their play. They know it's not personal. They know that we all have their best interest in mind, and they seem to be eager to get better as well.
That's been an observation from folks on the sidelines when a adjustment, a criticism is levied. There's been very little pouting.
Right.
There's been something to be considered and taken to heart and
Right.
executed upon. How does that make you feel as a head coach that seems to be happening, at least from an external vantage point?
It is.
3 games in.
Yeah, it is happening. But as coaches, we're not perfect. Our players aren't perfect. We're just a work in progress. But the guys are buying in, and we'll just continue to get better. We'll continue to work. We'll continue to coach them hard. And if they'll allow us to do that, our best days are still ahead of us.
You look at Catawba defensively, you have to talk about Dino Wardlow, a safety for the Indians. He was among the league's leading tacklers last year. He is the league's leading tackler this season. As an option offense, is it a little bit scary when you're facing a team with a quality safety who can make plays like that in space?
He's a very good football player, and we're going to have to know where he's at, and we're going to have to block him, and we're going to have to read him, and we're going to have to pitch off of him, and we're going to have to take advantage of him in the pass game. So he's a very good football player. They've got some talented guys on defense. We're just going to have to, play our game. And our focus right now is really Carson-Newman. We've got to play much better than what we played this past weekend. Now, that being said, Wingate had a lot to do with that. So obviously, tip of the hat to them. But I thought that was a great test, and I think that's exactly what we needed on offense, a team to be physical, a team to make us work, a team to put pressure on us, and I think we'll be better for it going forward.
Probably have another semi-emotional type game. Catawba's been on the road the first 3 weeks of the season. They'll finally open up the doors to Shuford Stadium and play in front of the home fans in Salisbury. Does that change the approach at all?
No, I think we just got to play football, and we can't control where we're playing. We can't control the elements and the environment. We got to play and do our job.
Anything else?
No, we're just excited to get back out there. Obviously, it was a great win, but at the same time, there was we can play better, and we know we can.